Head of Content at Event Marketer, and I'm joined by Juanita Chavarro-Arias, Managing Editor, and Kate Shea, Senior Editor and Manager of Digital Content, and our curator of The Brief, a weekly dispatch on LinkedIn and eventmarketer.com featuring experiential campaigns and marketing news that caught Kate's attention. And this is The Brief Live, our monthly recap of that coverage with special commentary. It's back to school season, and families across the country are organizing backpacks, among things. And so to open this episode, we thought we'd talk travel bag necessities for event peeps. Two features that matter most to me: a backpack with a luggage sleeve and an interior pocket with a built-in keychain to secure car keys. Minor detail, yes, but been there, lost that. Kate?
Sure. So mine is more of the I don't know, the low key bag, right? If you don't need a backpack, I recommend the belt bag, which I'm a 90s kid, so it's actually a fanny pack, let's just be real. But it is really nice to be hands-free, especially if you need to take photos, if you need to be hands-on with anything. So that's my recommendation.
Yeah, I'd say mine is the water bottle side pocket. You gotta have that. And I always bring a filtered water bottle that has a filter in the straw because you never know where you're gonna be filling up your bottle.
All right, let's get into this month's stories. More summer campaigns, more theming. Let's talk celebratory experiential. And Juanita, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, so skincare brand CeraVe is popping up in 6 cities to celebrate its 20th birthday, a theme that's carried through the look of the activation with a giant gift box and photo moments. Local dermatologists are on site to offer skincare consultations and advice. But the most special guest on the tour is the brand's new goat mascot named CeraVe. And this week, I actually spoke with Joshua Hellman, Assistant Vice President of Brand Engagement at CeraVe, and he said that the CeraVe mascot isn't going away anytime soon. Quote, "As long as we continue to stay the goat, we'll continue to have CeraVe as our mascot." So we're excited to have her continue to be part of the brand. So I think that's very goated move. And so to also keep the party going, I'll turn to Victoria's Secret Pink collaboration with LoveShackFancy on not just an apparel collection, but also a pajama party hosted in Manhattan. And it was a pink explosion that featured a curated walk-in closet showcasing a new line, dog-friendly amenities, including water bowls and treats. Of course, Pink has that dog mascot. Photo installations, a DJ, and a candy bar. So really leaning into that coquette aesthetic that Gen Z loves with sweet, romantic designs.
We move on to the world of sports, where Kate has identified a larger-than-life trend. Kate?
Yeah, I think, pun intended, I think that sports properties are, stepping up their game, at least over this summer. Minor League Baseball caught my attention with this 15 stadium tour, and it was all based around the idea of breaking the Guinness World Record for the most autographed piece of sports memorabilia. So they had this larger than life baseball that was carted around, I think it was 2,600 miles around the US, and had fans signing it. And it was transported not in some hidden container, but in like a replica acrylic case, like you might find a real baseball fan housing their autographed baseball. So that was really fun. With this acrylic case, this league got the visibility out there and created even more curiosity than they may have if they had hidden it. And then I'll also take you to one of my new favorites, which is this stunt from the Golden State Valkyries. So earlier this month, there was this purple egg that was just planted outside their arena, the Chase Center. And they immediately brought in this wildlife expert who, was listening to it and inspecting it. And he decided that it was a bird, but couldn't identify the species. So the team wanted to protect, this egg, brought it into the arena, built it its own nest, and then gave it a nest cam for fans to watch over the next few days. And then finally, they announced a bird watchers night, which was taking place during one of their games. And during the halftime, the spectacle, she comes running out of the tunnel. She's in this costume. It's a raven, I should tell you. The mascot is a raven. She comes running out of the tunnel. She's wearing a little dress. She's wearing sneakers. She's learning dances. She's learning how to play basketball. And everyone is officially introduced to Violet, Valkyrie's new mascot. And what better way to introduce a mascot than actually having the fans involved the whole time and having this kind of slow burn where everyone's anticipating it and, you're building momentum. So I thought that was a very creative stunt, and it all kind of ties back to the sports properties kind of kicking up their game.
Fantastic. Couple of health and wellness experiences that caught our attention, and I'll stay in the world of sports for a moment. Taking a quick step back into July, actually, Juanita reported on a cause marketing campaign from Eli Lilly that brought free mammograms to WNBA All-Star Weekend. It was supported by the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark with a community clinic and screening in partnership with Black Health Matters. The program included panel discussions with voices of breast cancer survivors in the sports world. And what I loved about the creative on this activation and campaign was this use of the number 99, which represented the statistic that breast cancer, when caught early, can have a survival rate as high as 99%. Just a real digestible message for excited fans. And it being a women's basketball tournament, of course, the entire campaign was so relevant and allowed for all these really impactful content extensions to drive campaign engagement out and beyond the bounds of the event. And then we have to talk about Kate's reporting on a festival in Sweden called Way Out West that turned its ticket sellout earlier this month into an opportunity to engage fans. The property teamed up with the nonprofit More Organ Donation and turned the phrase, "I'd give my left kidney for it," whatever, insert whatever it is, into what they called the Kidney Pass. And it allowed fans to enter to win a limited reserved ticket by signing up for Sweden's National Donor Registry. We know consumers are willing to tattoo their bodies for their favorite brands. And in this case, they pledged to donate an organ to see their favorite artists. And I think what we've learned over the years is that you can never underestimate super fans. And if you can tie a bold concept together with a meaningful result, you've got to win. So, yeah. Okay. And before we wrap, let's talk viral moments. And Juanita, you've got one from Rothy's.
Yeah, I've been seeing Rothy's pop up a bunch on TikTok for its plastic pause, meant to bring attention to the harm that single-use plastic does to the planet. The fashion brand brought a sustainability-focused activation to New York City's Times Square that featured a branded water refill station. And street teams were around to encourage passersby to trade their plastic single-use bottles for reusable ones donated by Ocean Bottle and other organizations. And they could then take those to fill them up at the stations. And by the end, 2,000 single-use bottles were swapped for branded reusable ones. And so the social content that I was seeing was just people being like, "Hey, look at this," and actually using the refill station from both Rothy's social team and some user-generated content as well. So it's been hot on the East Coast. I'm sure you've both been feeling that as well. And so what better way to drive engagement, not only for Rothy's and its partnership with Hope Hydration, but for a sustainable message that also fills a pain point right now this summer. Yeah.
All right. And thanks to all of you for tuning into the Brief Live August edition. We'll see you back here next month. And until then, be sure to subscribe to the Brief LinkedIn newsletter. Check out all of our weekly coverage on eventmarker.com. And we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.